For the romantic relationship, deciding whether to continue working with you or not is dependent upon the initial goal for the relationship. To understand why they prefer to be selfish is to understand their own logic. Consider the role of grit and self-control in terms of the following. Grit is usually for long-term considerations. So you usually set a grit goal if there's a larger vision, and you set a self-control goal when it's a objective to control momentary impulses. But let's not gloss over the fact that everything is based upon that initial goal you set for the relationship. So if you just broke up with someone and you're not quite sure that it is broken up, but you need comfort, and you decided to go to a bar. Well, it's sort of understood that whoever you pick, even as a one-night stand, is going to be a rebound. And so you might not have set the goal verbally, I'm looking for a rebound, but it's just automatically understood that if you just got out of a relationship and you don't wait and you seek another relationship quickly, then that person is likely a rebound. You can set other types of initial goals. I'm just going to date. So I'm going to date for a few months, and then I will assess any one of the people that I have dated if they will be interested in a relationship. And then, of course, if you have proposed to someone, well, we know what the initial goal for the relationship is: to eventually marry. When reflecting on your past romantic relationships, what was the initial goal? Was the goal to pursue the relationship with long-term consideration? Did you or your partner have grit in mind? Did you or your partner plan to stay with you? Where either one of you marriage-minded or felt long-term cohabitation was suitable for the relationship? And that's why you need consensus on that initial goal, because what happens is people will set a goal to live together, and they don't add sort of like a time frame. We're just going to move in together. But one of the partners will change that initial goal and create a counter argument, and we talked about that in previous audios. They change that initial goal and they create a counter argument, and they basically said, no, I don't want to live together anymore. I want to get married. Well, the other partner, they were fine with long-term cohabitation. So that initial goal really does matter, because it's usually in an engagement situation, because we know that the two partners are going to get married. They are both under the same understanding that I proposed for us to get married. So when they enter a cohabitation situation, live together before the wedding, then it makes sense for them to say we had the same goal in mind. What happens is, though, in some situations there's conflict between the two, and one decides to say, let's just wait. And I said in previous audios that when they say let's just wait, that's already a counter argument. They are already counter arguing that initial goal. So you have to determine if long-term cohabitation is the thing for you, if marriage is the goal for you, or if short-term mating strategies are the goals for you. Was the goal to pursue the relationship with short-term considerations? Did you or your partner believe that the relationship wouldn't last more than a few months? Did you or your partner ever discuss the relationship, its potential for long-term capacity? Was it difficult for you or your partner to control momentary impulses or temptations to pursue another romantic relationship? Well, it's already understood that dating really requires self-control, not grit. Grit is passion, perseverance for long-term goals. So I discussed this also in previous audios that if you are wanting to get a college degree, get the bachelor's, get the master's, then the PhD, that's going to require grit. You're going to need self-control to continue registering and enrolling in classwork and coursework and finishing that coursework. And that's going to take you having to accomplish that for a minimum of 120 credit units. You know, I don't know what that what it looks like in terms of total number of classes, but you need self-control to manage yourself to not drop out of school or to not drop a class every semester. However, the long-term goal of getting your degree for your particular field and industry is going to require grit. So when you're thinking about these types of goals that you are setting for romantic relationships, it's understood that if you are dating or you are having multiple one-night stands, that is sort of like a short-term consideration. I have also noticed that people are collecting dating rotations where they are dating people for like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, and they still consider themselves single, and they have no intention of converting those relationships into long term, even though there have been years attached to the current relationship. So you have to then think to yourself, am I part of a dating rotation as a reason why this person is not converting me? So when you're thinking about these short-term considerations, is you don't turn a short-term consideration like rebounding or dating into a long-term consideration. Many people do not think about setting goals for the romantic relationship. Before they can consider any goals, they perform what being in a relationship means, and then realize sometime later that the relationship might not be advantageous. Instead of developing the relationship, they get out of it. Well, you need to get out of something if it's not going to produce based upon the goal you set. That's why you need to set the goal. You just don't get into a relationship with someone hoping that they will convert you. And you also need to listen to that person when that person says they are never going to get married. What women do, we often try to change their minds. So we'll do whatever we have to do to ensure that they see us and that they see that we are serious. But I've also heard some men say when the right woman comes along, they might consider marriage. So if they are not marrying you, it doesn't matter what you try to do to try to convert the relationship. If they have not sought out to propose and engage and begin developing long-term plans for you and for you together, then you can rest assured that you are not the person that they want to marry. So no amount of you trying to become irreplaceable is going to solve that problem. This creates confusion, hurt, pain, and it stops the process. Determining what the process is depends upon the initial goal.